Gigo.
Hello, I'm Teacher Raccoon. Today we are going to introduce some uses for the 1206 AI educational blocks. In this video, we'll look at the hardware, then the software, and how to write programs for the models. Okay, let's see the hardware. The primary device is the AI control box. The AI control box has two buttons on the left and right. It also has a camera, a screen, and the pins on the reverse. We already covered some of this in detail in another video. So if you have any questions about it, you can always get more information by following this QR link. Next, I want to show you the micro SD card. This is inserted into the AI control box. But before we do that, this is where the recognition modules go, so we need to load those onto the micro SD card first. Then we put it in the AI control box. This is part of a tutorial series, so there's a special video for that. If you have any questions about the micro SD card, you can follow the QR link to the video. The final piece of hardware I want to show you is the lithium battery holder. Some devices, like this AI control box, needs more power than a standard battery or computer can supply. So, even if we connect it to something, we still need an external power supply. Once the program is written, we unplug the USB cable. Please prepare your own USB cable to connect it to the AI control box. This way, power is supplied to our main control box properly. So these are the three main hardware components that you will see in the number 1206 set. Please note, an micro SD card is not included with this set. You will need to prepare one of your own. The AI control box and lithium battery holder are included. However, only the battery holder is included. You will need to provide your own lithium battery. So, these were the main components to examine. Now, let's talk about software. For software, you can refer to the preparation section of your manual. There you can find a URL that will take you to this website, Webduino ID. If you can't get in through using this URL for some reason, it should come up in any good search engine. You can log in using your email or your Google account. Here I will use a Google account as a demonstration. After logging in, you'll need to accept all the terms and conditions, so we click here to accept. Wait a few seconds, and then we are directed back to the main website. The website is updated regularly, so here we just click the checkbox to close the prompt. Right, here we go, on the programming part. If you have used number 1269 micro-bit compatible robots before, you'll already be very familiar with the interface here. Let's take a look at the left side first. The interface is similar to that micro-bit one. There are a lot of variables, logic and math functions. As long as you click, you can see all the program blocks. Then pull the block you want to use and drop it into the workspace. Then you can begin customizing to complete the program. All the basic functions are very similar to number 1269 micro-bit compatible robots. The concepts and logic of many programming languages is universal. Okay, let's take a look here. These parts are functions unique to the number 1206 AI educational blocks. Things like color object, image classification, object tracker. These functions are not available in other Gigo sets. So let's put those in the number 1206 to see how they work. You can even set variables for the LCD screen, microphone and I/O pins. These functions are related to the hardware and AI control box. Looking over here to the right, there are a lot of icons. If we click on the file, it can import program files. The sample file here has some AI-related programs. Under Extension, if you click it, there are a lot of other functions. Before you begin, go into Expansion first. Then select hashtag 1206 AI educational block. After adding that, we'll see it appear on the menu on the left. You'll see Gigo here. Let's click it. Right, after clicking it, you'll see a lot of program blocks appear. These are related to the sensors. and also the DDM motor, servo motor, the buttons and the LEDs. If you want to use all the AI functions, you'll need this expansion section. So select the hashtag 1206AI educational block. Next, the clear function clears all the programs. After that, there's more. For now, let's look at how to connect to the Wi-Fi, and we'll do a firmware update later. As you can see, there's a lot of functions here. Now, let's get into the software. After connecting the AI control box, some information will pop up. First is the device ID. Then is the version number. We need to record this information, especially the version number. In this case, it's 1.0.8. You may need to update the firmware if there is a new version available. Now, let's go back to the software and move your mouse over the More icon. Down at the bottom, we can see the version number. Here it's showing version 1.3.0. That means the current software version is not the same as on the AI control box. Either of these can be updated in the future. For example, maybe we need to upgrade to 1.3.1. So then, you need to check whenever you turn on the AI control box. Now, let's demonstrate updating the firmware. Go into More, and you'll see the Update Gigo firmware option. Click this, and you'll see a pop-up window. Click Next, then connect your AI control box using a USB cable. Click Start Connecting, and choose your AI control box. Then click Connect. Next, click Update Firmware. Now it'll perform a firmware update. It may take a while to update, so be patient and wait for it to finish. After the update, the AI control box will show a confirmation window. Here you can see that the update was successful. If there are any future updates, remember to check for the latest software version through the method we just followed. If we don't run the updates, there may be some bugs when running programs. So pay close attention to the software version numbers. Once we've checked that everything is up to date, we can go ahead and connect to the Wi-Fi network. Why do we need to connect to a Wi-Fi network? Sometimes we'll need to use the Wi-Fi to upload photos to the image training platform. Before connecting the Wi-Fi, let's take a look at the AI control box. Use a USB cable to connect the AI control box and computer. After connecting, let's back to website. Click More and select Wi-Fi setting. This will open another pop-up window. Enter the Wi-Fi SSID, network name, and password. Remember to make sure you're in range of your Wi-Fi router. All the devices will need to have a good connection. So after entering the Wi-Fi menu, click Settings. Use your AI control box to scan the QR code. After that completes, the AI control box will reboot. Just wait for a couple of seconds. There, it now shows Wi-Fi connected. The green words means the Wi-Fi connected successfully. If the connection fails or the Wi-Fi is unstable, it will show red text. This way, you'll be able to tell if you have connected correctly. That's how you connect to Wi-Fi. Now let's go back to the micro SD card. Why do we need a micro SD card? Well, if we want to use specific sound or image files for recognition, we can use them to make the model more functional. The manual has a URL that will direct you to a Dropbox link where you can download the file. Let's take a look. There are 16 sample programs, one for each model. In addition, there are the audio file and image file recognition modules we mentioned. Click Image File Recognition Modules. So 5 files in total. 2.1, 9.1, 14.1, 16, 20. Each number relates to the corresponding lesson, so lesson 2, 9, 14, 16, and 20. These ones will need the image recognition modules. For convenience, we will put it all into the micro SD card now, so we don't have to reconnect it again later. I have a card reader here, so we'll put the micro SD card in here. Then we'll need to connect it to the laptop. Now we can see the micro SD card folder. Head back to the Dropbox. First we'll put the 2 files in the sound folder. Download these 2. Then go to the image recognition module and download these 5 files. These are all the files that need to be downloaded for now. After it's downloaded, head over to your download folder. Unzip the 2 files because they're compressed. Then after that, just move them to the micro SD card folder. After you've moved them, unzip another and repeat the same process. Once you're done, you can close the folder. Unmount the micro SD card. Now you have a micro SD card ready to use, with all the image recognition modules and sound effect files you'll need. Next, we just put this micro SD card into the slot on the side of the AI control box. Like this. Now everything is done and it is ready with the sound and image recognition modules. This is everything you need for the service robot. Now let's build the model. That was quick. We're done. The service robot uses 2 green LED bulbs and these 250x planetary motors, DDM. Let's briefly look at the pin positions. Over on the reverse side, the LED bulb on the left is connected to pin B. The LED bulb on the right is connected to pin F. The DDM on the left is connected to pin C. The DDM on right is connected to pin G. If you want to see that written down, all the pin configurations are in the manual for your reference. The main purpose of the DDM motor on the left is to control the left hand, while the DDM motor on the right controls the right hand. This model will use its camera to identify things. So, step by step, let's learn how to write a program for the service robot. Let's get programming. In this section, we'll learn how to write a program. We'll be using the service robot as an example. Our goal is to get it to say hi when it sees a monster of a certain color. So, we'll need to implement some specific functions. First, click Board on the left-hand side. There we'll see a Use Wi-Fi Control Web AI Do block. You'll need this for each program you write. It's kind of like the Start Program instruction for Microobit, if you know what that is. This will wrap all the other instructions, so add that first. Next, look inside the block. The Use Wi-Fi Control on the left doesn't change. We already connected the Wi-Fi for the Web AI part. Pay attention to this bit. We need to enter the device ID for our AI control box. How can you find your device ID? Simple. Connect to the model first. After that, it shows the version number and device ID automatically. This one here is 6DC263. 6DC263 is the device ID for this one. Now enter device ID 6DC263 here. This part is case sensitive, that means capital and lowercase letters matter. After that, hit enter. Now this program is configured for your AI control box. Because different AI control boxes have different device IDs. Make sure you enter the correct one. This will make everything run and connect more smoothly. Let's look at some sensors. For the Gigo sensors, make sure you add the hashtag 1206AI educational block. If you don't have that, then add the extension first. So, we talked about how the service robot has 2 DDMs and 2 LED lights. As long as it is related to the hardware of this particular set. Everything in this option block is Gigo. Let's add the LED lights. Next, the DDM motor. Then we'll put in a stop command. Why do we have to do that? We need to have a safety mechanism at the beginning. Like micro a bit turns off the other sensors and motors when it starts, to avoid an accidental run or start when it is connected. With this system, we'll put in our own. So turn off all LED lights and DDM motors. We have a pair of LED lights. So we'll right-click and copy the instruction to add 2 instructions to the LED program. For the pins, one is inserted into pin B, and the other is inserted into pin F. You can look at the diagram in the manual too, if you have any issues. That has very detailed information. We can switch it on or off easily. The LED light can be switched on or off using the same blocks. But the DMM motor needs an additional stop block. So, if you find you have a speed block in there, like this, remove that and add a stop block. For the DDM motors, one is connected to pin C, and the other goes to pin G. Like with the LED block, you can copy it. And there you have a safety mechanism. This will off the 2 sensors when the device connects and boots up. When the device is turned off, we can enter the image tracking data. Here we click Object Tracker. Why use Object Tracker? Well, we're going to identify our 4 little monsters. Yellow, red, green, and blue. To do the monster identification, we'll need to use the Object Tracker block. So let's add the top program and pull it to the bottom. We can click the monster type there. This monster actually refers to the cards for the 4 little monsters. So we don't need to make any changes here. You will find that there are 4 colors: green, red, yellow, and blue. These match the little monster colors. What does this block really do? It's defining the population. It describes the total number of monster types that the AI can expect to see. Later, it will have to recognize them. It will know that there are 4 possibilities in total. And we set these 4 monster types first. But because we don't recognize a monster once, we may see a second or third little monster. Here can click the loops on the left side. We can add a repeat forever sync do block. Just pull it to the bottom. Remember, don't click the sync option. After pulling it down here, we're going to make him detect cards repeatedly. Next we can go to the Add Next Program block. Let's click Object Tracker again. To make it recognize and detect objects, add the Start Recognize block. Now let's review the entire program so far. If it is turned on, the motor will be turned off first. After turning it off, the little monster categories are loaded. Next is the recognition step. Good, next let's do the Object Tracker again. Add Set Obj Group to the program block. After pulling it out, click Variable. Here, We're going to create two different variables. One is G, which means green. If you have used micro a bit before, you'll know what this does. Basically, if we need a floating value that can be changed while running program, we can use the variable function. So, we'll set green and red variables. Here, I want the robot to react when it sees the little green and red monsters. That's why we need to set the green and red variables. Okay, let's get back to this block. We can find options for G and R here. If you don't set the variable first, you won't find G and R. Okay, we change this to G. Copy a new block to R. Put them down at the bottom. So, what is the function of these two program blocks? We easily identified that this card is either blue or green. But for the camera, the color is an information array. Kind of like the code concept generally. This block is for the variable G, so we type in green here. This block is for variable R, so we need to type red here. Green and red must be same as the category as above. Remember, both capitalization and spelling must be the same. This way, it will successfully recognize the monsters. So this explained all about the red and green variables. Next, let's add the condition blocks. Click Logic. Then add the if-do block. Let's talk about what this does. If it sees this little red or green monster, it will say hello. That's why we need the logic program. Next, add the and block to the logic. Add the equals block. Remember, we want the model to react when it sees green or red. So we need to change the and to or. If it is set to and, it will only say hello when it sees red and green together, so remember to change it to or. Next, we need to get the value of these arrays. Click Lists. Then add the block, array the length of. Basically, the length of this array refers to the value of this array. As long as the judgment is successful, this value will be greater than 1. So click Math. Add the 0 block and change it to 1. Then change the equals to greater than. OK. Change the variable to G. This means that the length of variable G must be greater than 1. Sounds a bit complicated? Let's go over it. If the model sees the green little monster card, because the model picks its variable whenever it sees a green little monster, and that variable will usually be greater than 1, so copy a new block and pull it in behind. Change the G to R. It's very easy to set the block conditions. If you think number 1 is a little too big, it can also be 0.9 or 0.95. But I would keep it in the range 0.9 and 1. You may want to change it because when it is 1, it is highly selective, false negative. The lower the number, the more likely it is to accidentally spot other red or green things, false positive. Here you can adjust it according to your environment. Currently, our program identifies and says hello when there is a little green or red monster card. Is there an action to go with the hello greeting? First, I want its eyes to glow, so click the Gigo block. Add the LED, pin as set status on block. Let's make the LED light up. Remember that our LED lights are installed on pins B and F. So copy a new block and change them to B and F. When the LED lights up, I want it to make a high sound. Click the speaker. And there are 2 program blocks available. Add both of them. The first program mainly controls what it says. We want it to say, "Hi." So we enter "Hi" here. Because we already have the "Hi" sound file installed on the micro SD card, we just enter "Hi" here. What is the sample rate? The sample rate describes the quality or amount of information in the sound file. It is also a way that the AI control box quantifies the sound wave. MP3 files are often between 40,000 and 50,000 kHz. Here we'll set it to 50,000. This is fairly standard. Next, if a volume of 70 seems too loud, you can change it here. After saying "Hi", next we'll do a small hand movement. This is the same as the previous steps. Click Gigo. Select the 3 DDM motor blocks. Add 2 DDM motors blocks. The first will be DDM motor, pin A clockwise. The second will be DDM motor, pin A speed. We also need to change its pin position. One is pin C, and the other is G. After adjusting the pin position, I want it to rotate counterclockwise using level 40 power. Okay, so we're done with the first hand. Again, copy the new blocks. The pin of the other motor is G. I want it to rotate clockwise. Let's check the program again. Light up, say "Hi", move hands. Now, we need a short wait time. So click loops, then add the waiting SCC block. Add a waiting time between the 2 DDM motor programs. The waiting time of the first motor is 0.005 seconds, which is very short. But it's actually going to wait while we're looking at it. It will appear as though the 2 motors are moving at the same time. For the second motor, we let it wait for 1 second. Now both hands will rotate. After the rotation, we have to add a stop command. We can copy these blocks again. To make it stop all actions after rotating. So now, after waiting for 1 second, both motors will stop. Next, we're going to turn off the LED lights. We can directly copy the above blocks to turn off the LED light again. Turn off pin B and pin F. Finally, we need another wait block to act as a buffer. Let's set it to 2 seconds. Now after the whole program runs, it has about 2 seconds to reset. After 2 seconds, we can put another little monster card in front of the camera. And it should continue to identify whether it is a little red or green monster. Okay, let's check it and run it. First, it will turn off both the LED lights and the motors. Then we told it that there are 4 little monsters in total: green, red, yellow and blue. Let it recognize these 4 situations. Then we can do the object detection. Define the green and red little monsters as variables. Once detected, its value will be greater than 1. In this case, it sees a little green or red monster. The actions to say hello include lighting up, saying hi, moving hands, then turning off all sensors. Wait 2 seconds as a buffer. So, after the program has been set up, we can click execute in the upper right corner. Before executing, make sure that the AI control box is connected to the computer. If it's not connected, you'll have to reconnect it. Now the AI control box is connected to the computer. Click Execute. And the message programming will appear. Excellent, we have now imported this program into the AI control box. This is a complete program for the Hello Robot. Now, the program is complete. Let's test it. First, we need to connect the power. We can use the USB cable to connect the AI control box and the lithium battery. Like this. After that, switch it on. You'll see the motor run for a while. And the AI control box is running. Just wait a second. Now let's test it. First let's test the little red monster. Next is the little green monster. Both of them are detected and the robot says, "Hi." Next is the little yellow monster. You can see, no matter where I put it, the model will not respond. Same as the blue one. It only says hi when it sees the red or green monsters. Well done! This was how to program the service robot. I hope it helped.